She sucked you once, and now she owns your soul. That's not a meme. It's a direct quote from a very, very dark book. A book so brutal, so raw, that it was banned within weeks of being published. Not because it was political, but because it was honest. It exposed everything they never wanted you to understand about women, desire, and power. It spoke of love, not as something romantic, but as a weapon. The man who wrote it disappeared. The book gone. But pieces of it survived, hidden in quotes, whispers, notes passed between men brave enough to think freely. One line stands out. The first time she touches you, it's not love, it's initiation. That's the trap. You think you found intimacy, but she found something else. Leverage. The book is gone, but the message still lives. And if you stay with me till the end, I'll show you the one principle from this forbidden philosophy that every man needs to hear, but almost no one survives. She doesn't need to love you. She just needs to make you believe that she might. Because once you believe, you'll start giving your time, your focus, your edge, your purpose. You'll soften your voice, lower your standards, and raise her like a god. Why? Because she smiled after sex? Because she called you her king? Number. Because you were never taught to be dangerous. This book, this forbidden doctrine, said one thing that still echoes. When a man worships love, he forgets to build power. That's when she loses interest. Not when you forget her birthday, not when you don't text back, but when she feels you've been captured, tamed, domestic, weak, and you wonder why she pulled away. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you might save your life. You've been told that love is the answer, but what if love is the trap? Machiavelli once wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." And he wasn't wrong, because when you give your soul, you give away your power. And power, brother, is the only language they respect. I'm not telling you to be cruel. I'm telling you to be sovereign, unshaken, focused, whole, with or without her. That's when she comes back. That's when she worships you. And the final words of that dark book, the man who loves without needing, is the man she fears to lose. Don't be the man who begs for her love. Be the man she begs to reach. But here's the part no one dares to say out loud. Love doesn't disappear. It mutates into obligation, into performance, into quiet resentment. And you will smile through all of it, because you think that's what a good man does. You'll tell yourself, she's just going through something. Or worse, it's my fault. But deep down, a voice whispers, you've been traded for comfort, for control, for convenience. A voice, you've been taught to silence it, but not here, not in this space. Here, we bring it to light. Because if you've made it this far, you already sense the truth. What most men call love today is just compliance. And she doesn't want compliance. She wants conviction. A man who leads. A man who walks away when something violates his code. That kind of man doesn't chase. He builds. He disappears into purpose. And that's why she never forgets him. You're not here to decode every emoji. You're not here to beg for bare minimum loyalty. You're not here to earn love through silence. You're here to become unshakable. Still with me? Good, because now we go deeper. There was another chapter in the Black Doctrine, one that was said to have been torn out, because it revealed too much. Too much about why men fall. Too much about the cost of unconscious devotion. In it was one sentence. The one who kneels for love becomes too low to be respected. They say this chapter wasn't destroyed, it was hidden. And when it surfaced again, quietly, it didn't start with love. It started with self-betrayal. The first lie, the first compromise, the first time you knew something didn't feel right and you stayed anyway, not because you believed in her, but because you stopped believing in yourself. This is where most men lose themselves, not all at once. Piece by piece. She doesn't take your soul. You hand it over, and she doesn't know what to do with it. So she leaves. Because what excited her wasn't you giving everything. It was the edge you used to have before you gave it all away. And here's the twist. If you try to get it back too late, it's already over. She'll say, "You've changed." She'll say, "You're not the man I fell in love with." But in truth, you finally became him. So here's your choice. Be the man she reshapes, or the man she never dares to try and mold. That's the difference. That's the warning. That's the truth they never wanted you to hear. But now you've heard it. Now you know. And once a man knows, he doesn't chase. He walks. He builds. He remembers. And when she knocks again, he answers, not with flowers, but with fire.